Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions, and let's talk about NIO and what's been going on with it. So I'm going to keep this video super short and sweet just because of how often we've been getting this specific question. So make sure that throughout this video, if I answer any of your questions, that you guys consider dropping a thumbs up, of course, as we greatly appreciate it. So I made these series of notes. If you don't want to watch the entire video, I 100% understand, but based off of currently what is going on, NIO was up, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 to 11% on the day. So it's down right now about 10%, which means that not only did it give all of its gains back, but it also dropped another 10%. I think the overall lows were about 18 to 19% down on the day, which is a total of, from its highs of the day, about nearly 30% that you've seen in fluctuation. So it hit all-time highs today at $54.20, as you guys can see right on over here. On the 180-day chart, you guys can see how aggressive it's been consistently uptrending. You guys can tell by all the, group chats, all the trading platforms out there. This has been a very trendy stock, rightfully so, as it's had an amazing performance for 2020. One of the things that I want to talk about is Citron, or however it is that you pronounce that, reported that they are pulling out and expected to pull back $25 a share based off of where it currently was at $54 a share. So what the question I was asking myself, and I don't know if you guys asked yourself this, is who is Citron, and why does it matter like what they said? Like, okay, well, it's going to $25. Well, why is it important, and why is it pulling back the market? Why is their word worth so much? Well, if you look a little bit more into it, Citron actually 2 years ago were one of the early investors and believers in NIO. And the really cool thing about this is that they were originally invested back then when it was $7 a share. So you guys can imagine that it being up nearly or over 1,100% in 2020 alone, that now when it comes down to their edge, right? So if you guys know a little bit about NIO, they're pretty much like the up-and-coming, right? And again, you don't quote me on this, but the up-and-coming and aspiring Tesla, but for China. And they were working on an alternative energy vehicle, and this was 2 years ago. So there was a lot of hype in 2020 alone behind this specific company, very similar to kind of like Nikola. I would say that we've seen actual models with NIO, and it's a little bit more, in my opinion, reputable when it comes down to what they've shown, but it's a super hyped up stock. There's no other way to put it. It's gained 1,100% in 2020 alone. And one of the things that a lot of people love to ask me is, Ricky, why are you not heavily invested in NIO? I think it's an amazing stock based off of its performance. I just continue to see these overhyped up stocks, and when they become super overhyped up, it's just one unfortunate news after the other that kind of brings it tumbling down. If I'm not mistaken, I think Workhorse was also a very popular one that saw an unfortunate pullback. So one of the things that Citron Group has shared is that they do not believe that NIO has what they originally thought as its competitive edge, right? So when it comes down to the SUV that they originally were making with alternative energy, right, an electric vehicle, this was something that when they announced it or when they were working on it, Tesla didn't necessarily have the Tesla Model Y up and running. Now Tesla is working on coming out with the Tesla Model Y and other competitive SUV type vehicles, and they're going to be under or nearly $40,000 each. And when it comes down to NIO being an up-and-coming and inspiring electric car manufacturer, you need to take into consideration that they're not going to be profitable probably for a very long period of time, especially with the idea of trying to compete with someone like Tesla. So what they decided to do is, you're an early investor in NIO, you got in at $7 a share because you believed in the company and what it had as an edge. Now, 2 years later, it's grown 1,100%, and that edge that was originally there 2 years ago is no longer there, and it's by that dominant electric manufacturer, Tesla. And they're more likely going to be able to compete with them at a much lower price. In comparison to NIO, is not going to be as competitive, and their overall rev, right, margin of profit, is most likely not going to be there either. So you can see, it makes sense on why Citron Group shared the idea of pulling out, that, hey, especially as we're approaching earnings, that they can see it to pull back. Does this mean that this is the end of NIO? No, but this just means that a very credible group that invested in NIO 2 years ago when it was $7 a share, that they stood behind this specific company and its overall performance, have now decided to pull out because they find it to be overvalued, especially with a 1,100% return. Now, this is something that I've been sharing, not even like looking into the fundamentals of NIO, but it's just been a very common trend. And please share your opinion down in the comment section. But for a lot of companies, especially like alternative energy manufacturers, this year alone, you know, the new Tesla or Tesla's main competitor or the China version of Tesla has been a very popular trend this year, and it becomes overhyped, especially when something continues to show signs of an uptrend with no sufficient pullback. Now, does this pullback surprise me? No, pullbacks are inevitable, and if you tuned into today's live trading session, I quickly spoke about it, is I think it's amazing. You know, when NIO was showing signs of an uptrend, when it was holding above the EMA line, when it's making higher highs, higher lows, and it's showing no signs of a reversal, I think it's great. It makes sense on why you partake in it, but you need to have an exit plan. It's those that go in blindly that are sold on the idea that NIO will only continue to go up. NIO has been up 1,100% year to date. And are you really surprised that it begins to pull back, or that people that were original investors are now locking in their profits because this company is overvalued? That should not come as a surprise. And this is one of the reasons that we always encourage you to have a plan. And I would rather encourage you and annoy you to be prepared rather than today being surprised. It's so unfortunate to see 100%. There's no question about it. I'm not ever here to try to point the finger like, hey, I told you so, because no one ever knows when something is going to pull back. But it's because you're so unaware of what's bound to happen that you need to be prepared. Risk management is 100% so important in this market. NIO looks like it's trying to quickly recover. I hope that it does recover, but based off of this initial pullback and as we're approaching earnings, don't be surprised if we see continuous negative catalyst with ticker symbol NIO. Feel free to share your opinion down in the comment section. Now, I want to keep you guys up to date also with my positions. My day trade positions worked out pretty well today. On TQs alone, didn't make a killing, but I made $600 profit on my day trades alone. Now, when it comes down to my PTON position, this is something that is a little bit more on the unfortunate side for me, as I'm more heavily invested in this. Just like you guys that are experiencing a red day on NIO or whatever stock it is that you guys were partaking in, you guys saw a lot of stocks today sell off, like Zoom, right? PTON pulled back a lot as more news came out about COVID. Lower lows, lower highs. Again, I still am someone that believes PTON is a little bit more on the oversold side. They thrive during pandemic conditions, and I think we're still in the very early stages of a potential reversal. I'm not fully invested, but I am heavily invested enough that it makes a significant difference when the stock is down nearly 7%. As of today, P&L, right? I've showed you guys when I've been up $2,000 on PTON. As of today, I'm down $2,100 with my 350 shares. Overall on the open, I am down $1,600 with an average purchase price of 106.37. Let's say it's 106.3696, whatever. Let's just say 106.37. I still feel like for the price that I bought it for, I'm in at a decent price point. I have enough skin in the game that I feel motivated. Yeah, it does suck when it drops 7% and 100% it can continue to drop. Do I think it's the best deal? Do I think that it's like the golden stock of the year? Of course not, but it's a company that, because of everything that is being said of potentially going back into a shutdown, I think it's something that we can see slowly begin to recover as we re-enter pandemic conditions. Just my 2 cents. I wanted to talk about NIO. It's very unfortunate for what happened. I wanted to talk about the couple day trades that I was able to do today that played out pretty well, but also I need to talk about the ones that aren't doing so well. And of course, that's my long position. I'm invested. I'm not day trading this. This is my original plan, was to buy this and to hold it for a much longer period of time, or until I feel like it's a little bit more on the overbought side. One of the friendly reminders that I have again within this video is make sure you have proper risk management, or that at least your intention is in place. If you intended to day trade NIO, then you should have had an exit plan intraday. If you're someone that's long, going long on it and you're still up on your overall position even with this pullback, then again, nothing wrong with sticking to your plan as long as it still makes sense and aligns with your overall intention. I just wanted to keep you guys up to date. Hopefully this video is short and sweet. Don't forget to stay connected. If you guys haven't joined us for our live trading sessions, again, we do go live every single morning, Monday through Friday. And if you're ready to join our team, we're running a sale today. It's $50 off the Learn Plan Profit course. you guys can refresh your screen, and it's the first link down below. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, click the second link down below, learn more about the Learn Plan Profit Group. You guys can watch today's live trading session to see what it's like to watch me trade live. And if you like what you see and you're ready to join us, I will see you on Monday at Market Open. And again, all of those links are down below. I hope that you learned something new. If you did, please consider dropping a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when it is that we go live at Market Open, you get alerted. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, see.